Sometimes you apply for a credit card and you're really sure that your application will be successful. And what happened was they deny you, right? So you're kind of like, okay. So in today's conversation, I want to share with you three sneaky things that always sabotage your credit card application. Let me give you an overview here. The first thing is that your income is too low. See, the whole thing is if you're applying for a credit card and there is a delta, there is a mismatch between the credit card that you want, right, and the income requirements of the issuer, you're always going to be denied 100%. It's not about, see, the thing is, credit card application, the whole process is actually a science. That's the way we look at it. If the issuer wants you to have, let's say, $1,000 per month in income, that's gross income minimum, and you happen to be around 800 or 900, you're not going to qualify. So it's very important to ask the issuer, or at least to call them up and ask them, what are your minimum income requirements? This is really important. So if your income is too low, they're not going to approve you. It's not about, I have a high FICO score, or I have multiple jobs, or I just show them my tax returns and whatnot. No, they are actually, because the whole thing is when you charge stuff on the credit card, you're gonna have to repay the card anyway, the balance at the end of the month. So if you don't have enough income to actually satisfy this monetary obligation, the card issuer sees you as a risk. So if your income is too low, this is the first thing that will always sabotage your credit card application. So next time you actually apply for a credit card, make sure that you call the issuers first, ask them questions about their income requirements, and and you want to be very specific. You want to ask them, how much do I have to make on a monthly basis, gross and net? Okay, and it's really important to understand that if you do not have enough disposable income to support a new credit card because you have too little income, or your income happens to be, let's say, unstable, then you will be at a higher risk of being unable to keep up with the new card's minimum payments. Remember, a lot of cards have minimum payments, so this is important. So in the eyes of a creditor, this could suggest that you may eventually default. So not having enough income could result in you either being approved for a lower credit line than you anticipated, or having your application denied entirely. The second thing is that your credit report has some issues. Okay, so the first thing that always sabotages your credit card application is your income is too low. Second thing is your credit report has some quote-unquote issues. By the way, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate having you here. We're having a quick convo about three sneaky things that always sabotage your credit card application. So the thing is, if there are too many hard inquiries on your credit report, this could be a problem. So when we talk about some issues, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes here. When you have issues, there are two types of issues. First, there are too many hard inquiries on your credit report, and there is an error on your credit report, like mistake. So if there are too many inquiries in your credit report, what does that mean? Boss, this is pretty simple, right? It means that you are constantly applying for credit. You're having hard inquiries here and there. This is not really good. Now, the first thing you need to understand, a hard inquiry has damages you twice. First, because it makes your credit score drop. Remember, anytime you have a hard inquiry, your credit score is going to drop by like 5 or 10 points. That's the first thing. Second thing is, a credit card issuer, or a lender for that matter, looking at your FICO score will be like, oh wow, this person seems to be desperate. He or she's looking for credit all the time. So be very strategic when it comes to applying for new credit. Be very strategic when it comes to getting a hard pull. You always want to go for a soft pull, right? So if you're looking for a credit card or you're looking for a loan, make sure that you go for a soft pull loan or a soft pull credit card, at least at the beginning. And once you're comfortable this is the right lender or credit card issuer for you, then you can actually you can allow them to do a hard pull on you. Very important. So that's the first part. When we say your credit report has some issues, that's the first part. The second thing is that there is an error in your credit report. Like, error happens. Nobody's perfect. We're all humans here. So we go through stuff, and the credit reporting agencies, there are humans working there too. So errors might actually creep onto your credit file or your credit report every now and then. The most important thing is for you to spot those errors and report them ASAP to the respective credit reporting agencies. So you want to contact TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian and really tell them, hey, listen, I think there's a problem here. Y'all need to fix this ASAP. So very important. And when we talk about some issues, I also want to talk about, by the way, I want to remind you of today's topic that this is very important for those of you who are just catching up on us right now. I'm just sharing with you 3 sneaky things that always sabotage your credit card application. Okay, first thing, your income is too low. Second thing, your credit report has some issues. Now, I said before that when we talk about issues, I was talking about 2 things. Actually, there are more. There are actually 5 things. Okay, so first thing, there are too many hard inquiries on your credit report. Second thing, there is an error on your credit report. Third thing is there is other negative information on your credit report. So other negative pieces of information on your credit report include things like lawsuits, you have charge-offs, you have tax liens and unpaid child support. So those could be a part of the reason why you were denied a credit card you wanted in the first place. Another issue could be that your credit history is limited. See, the whole thing is if you have just started your credit journey, chances are you don't have a lot of proof of your credit worthiness. I don't care how much money you are making, you just don't have enough history. You don't have enough enough past to actually convince an insurer that you are credit worthy. So this is actually called having a thin credit file or a limited credit history. And it's a common reason for a card issuer to deny a credit card application. Having said that, there are lots of credit cards that cater to people with limited credit. Okay, very important. So you want to actually cast a wider net when it comes to your credit card applications, so you are actually applying with the right issuer, quote unquote, the right issuer. The fifth reason why you, like when we see your credit report has some issues, one of the issues will be like your credit score is below the level required by the card. See, the whole thing is that all credit cards have a minimum credit score requirements. So if Chase Freedom Flex is telling you, we want to have people who have a minimum credit score of 600, and you happen to have 575, unless you have a great relationship with Chase, you're not going to qualify. You're not going to qualify. So this will always sabotage your credit card application. So be very clear about, the same way I told you to contact the issuer to ask them about the income requirements, also ask them about the FICO requirements. Very important. The third thing that always sabotages your credit card application is your financial history. So if your financial history is problematic, this will actually create problems. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when we talk about problems in your financial history, we're talking about delta, we're talking about chasm, we're talking about gaps between your current financial history and your past, okay? So if you have a recent delinquency, if you have too much existing debt, if you have too many credit cards, this trifecta could be problematic to your credit card application. Could be dichotomous, could be contradictory, could actually hamper your credit card application. It's very important. See, the whole thing is that having delinquencies on record, even if it's just one, tarnishes your credit reputation because it signifies to the issuers that you are monetarily unreliable and or desperate, and you don't want to be in neither category. Giving the banks and credit card issuers in general want responsible customers who will make on-time payments. Think about it. It is really unlikely that they will approve you for a credit card if you showcase such neglect for financial responsibility. And so the same is true if you have too much existing debt, right? Let's say you have a high loan balance, or let's say you have a high credit card debt. This will actually stand out to a card issuer because having more debt than you have in available credit is a sign to creditors that giving your credit line may be a risk to them because you may not be able to take on another monthly payment. So card issuers want to see that you can responsibly use a fraction of your available credit. So this is called what? This is called your CUR. So actually, there are two things here. You have is your CUR, your credit utilization ratio, which must be really low, and you also have your DTI, your debt to income ratio. So issuers actually analyze both metrics simultaneously. And if you have too many credit cards, also this could be detrimental to you also, right? I mean, having too little credit is one thing, but sometimes when you think about it, having too much credit can be a deal breaker to a card issuer. There is no certain number of credit cards that is considered too many in our view, but every credit card company sees this factor differently. But this could be the reason why your application was denied. In other words, you have too many credit cards, you ain't using them. So why are you looking for an extra credit card? Okay, so just gonna recap this section here. Three sneaky things that always sabotage your credit card application. We're speaking about your income is too low, your credit report has some quote unquote issues, and your financial history is problematic. Let me give you a few pro tips before we close to this conversation here. By the way, I want to quickly again remind you of today's topic. I just said it, but I want to say it again in case people are just catching up on us on this show here. We're having a conversation about three sneaky things that always sabotage your credit card application, and you need to really pay attention to those things. Now, one thing I want to say here is that what do you have to do after a declined credit card application? See, the whole thing is, sometimes we are all like, we have emotions, that deny your ass. You're pissed and you're thinking, I don't want to talk to them anymore. I'm going to apply for another credit card, blah, 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 blah. No. What I want you to do right now is to really pay attention here. Okay. So what you want to do is don't be in a rush to apply again, because you have to understand you got denied for a reason, son, daughter, you got denied for a reason. So applying for the same credit card or even a different credit card with the same card issuer is not, if you do it too quickly, it's not likely to help your situation. So improving your credit standing can take time. So if you want to continue applying for credit cards, keep in mind that your credit score will take a hit each time you apply. I just spoke to you about a hard pull. Whenever you have a hard pull, you are actually dropping 5 to 10 points. Are you willing to continue dropping those points? Grandpa, grandma, answer me. Aunt, uncle, I'm talking to you. Pa, ma, I'm talking to you. All right. So if you want to continue applying for credit cards, you are going to have a drop in your credit score, and that's not good for you. Okay. And the thing is that too many applications are a red flag of desperation to card issuers, really. So make sure you hedge your bets on which cards you're likely to get approved for, and avoid the ones that you will never get anyway. Okay. And it's okay. Don't take it personally. It's all business. Okay. Also, if you are denied a credit card, let's say you're denied a credit card, apply with a different issuer. Different issuers they actually use different underwriting criteria, which means applying for a credit card from a different bank than the one that denied your original application might result in getting approved for a different offer, assuming the card is suitable to your credit standing, right? So if you applied at Citi and they deny your ass, go to Chase, go to Bank of America, okay, go to Wells Fargo, go to PNC, go to Truist, go to BMO, go to Fifth Third, okay? You can also submit a reconsideration request or call the reconsideration line. Now, though not many people know about this well-kept secret, credit card issuers are required, I want to repeat, they are required to reconsider your application upon request if you have new or additional information to provide, given that it is provided in a timely manner. Okay, so if you felt that you were unfairly or illogically denied a credit card, you should definitely consider this option, and it can typically be done by phone or in writing, depending on the card issuer. You can also request a free copy of your credit report. Oh yeah, definitely. It's always a great idea to examine your credit report to determine where you stand on the credit score spectrum, right? Are you a 550? Are you a 650? Are you a 750? Are you a 450? Are you a 350? Where you at, boss? Talk to me about that. So if you request a free copy of your credit report, what will happen here is that this will enable you to spot your areas of strength and improvement, which will really better enable you to maneuver the credit shopping landscape in the future. So checking your credit files would not come at a cost either, because we all are entitled to a free copy of each of our major credit reports every 12 months. So go to annualcreditreport.com, annualcreditreports.com. So you have a free copy of your credit report from Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian every 12 months. So please seize that. On top of that, you have services that actually grant you free access to your credit reports permanently. Okay, you have Credit Karma, you have NerdWallet, you have Wallet Hub, you have other services such as CreditWise from Capital One, you have Discover doing it, Chase. All the big banks are doing it anyway. One thing you also want to do is you want to build, improve, and fix errors on your credit report. Remember, given that your credit report is the primary piece of information that banks scrutinize upon evaluating your application, it's really important that you ensure that it is really in the best shape possible, right? This might entail things like fixing errors, devaluing past mistakes, or building out a thin file. So this is really important. You can also apply for a lower tier card. I mean, I know you don't want to hear that. This doesn't sound right to you, but you want a card. Do you want a card, boss? Do you want a card? If you want a card, apply for a lower tier card. It's okay anyway. Okay. If you do not get approved for a credit card after submitting a couple of applications, you might want to apply for a star credit card, for example, most of which are easier to get than the average consumer credit card, or simply place a security deposit on a secure credit card. And secure credit cards offer basically guaranteed approval because your deposit serves as your credit line and thereby prevents overspending. Another thing you can also try to do here is to reduce your debt to income ratio. Earlier I spoke about that, and this is kind of important also. Let's say, boss, son, daughter, let's say you have a large amount of debt, okay? And this is what is most likely hindering you from acquiring the car that you want, okay? So why don't you just shift your focus? Why don't you just shift your attention here, your priority here? So you want to focus on paying down your debt so banks and credit card issuers in general will stop viewing you as a high-risk candidate, because that's the thing that's killing you right now. If they see you as a high-risk candidate, this will actually derail your application. This will sabotage your application. Okay, you can also try to become an authorized user. Why not? Because the thing is, if you are too young to have your own credit card, having a parent add you to their accounts as an authorized user is a great way to garner spending power for emergency situations, as well as learn how to manage a credit card account and lay the foundation for a strong credit history. So this is really important to look. I mean, what I want you to do is to look at the whole process logically and not emotionally, because, they deny your ass. Okay, now sit down and think about things logically and take the steps you need to take to actually reverse the situation in the future. Maybe not right away, but in the future. So no matter the reason you've been denied for a credit card, it doesn't feel good to get rejected, right? But it's best to take it as an opportunity to polish up your credit report. As you check your report, you want to scrutinize any negative information. And the thing is, you may see actions from your past that compromise your credit score, or you may even find mistakes on your credit report. You never know. So credit rejection overall, the way we see it, is a positive thing. It may not feel encouraging, but truthfully, you can turn things around faster than you might think. So checking your credit score for free on NerdWallet, Wallet Hub, Credit Karma, or other players is a really good start. It's a really good place to start, really. And so the good thing is that you always want to make sure that you're constantly, whenever you apply for a credit card, please go for credit cards that offer soft pulls first. Don't go for credit cards that actually do a hard pull right away. No, go with soft pull. Just that way you can gauge your chances of approval, and then if you like what you see, you can actually apply for real and allow the issuer to check to do a hard inquiry on your file. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just quickly talking to you about 3 sneaky things that always sabotage your credit card application. Here are the 3 things. Your income is too low. Your credit reports has some quote-unquote issues. And number 3, your financial history is problematic. And then I give you a few pro tips explain to you what to do after a declined credit card application. Thank you. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.